What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 284, take 3. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
I've tried something different each time. I'm done. Yes, we do the Gamecast.
We got so deep into the bits, into the like we were about to roll back into housekeeping and then start the show, and then hey man,
faltered.
Technical difficulties. We're having a lot of them this week. That one was just kind of funny to me.
That one, yeah. Just minor inconveniences.
Yeah.
Not 2 hour long ones.
Sometimes you wake up, Streamlabs needs an update, and then when you update it, none of the fucking cameras work anymore, so you got to uninstall, reinstall, and figure it out. Oh my god!
At least they keep giving it support.
We're moving to OBS this next week. That's my goal for tomorrow is move us to OBS. Anyways, Connor, how's your week been, friend?
Busy.
That's great. Ask me how my week was.
Don't you fucking talk about the stupid goddamn album again for 4 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
4 minutes.
J. Cole, Young Simba is back. The fall off February 2nd, 2026. 2626. And it's a double disc.
Track 2, something 6.
Disc 2, track 2.
Track disc.
Double disc from the 2.6 on 2.6. Come on, son.
I think it's going to be too many songs.
Who the fuck want what? Probably.
No! Shut up! We're not doing this again. We're not doing it. Listen, you can talk about we could do the J. Cole. They're doing another album.
Who the fuck?
No, stop it!
The hardest out, and I say that reluctantly, but it should go without saying. But y'all playing dumb.
Oh my!
As far as these rappers go, I'm not fearing none.
Yeah, not fearing none. Blah-de-da-de-da. He had made a good song. Good on him.
Except he was fearing one.
He was fearing.
There was one he was fearing.
That needs to be said.
And let's be honest, he's had multiple opportunities to rip Kanye a new one, and just for whatever reason hasn't done it,
Maybe scared of 2 then.
He's just he's definitely not scared of Kanye. He's definitely not scared of Kanye. Kanye West has not been a good rapper in fucking 15 years.
Kanye West has the groypers on his side. The right-wing Nazis, so
nobody would care about that.
No.
All of us would love to see J. Cole rip Kanye West a new one. That would be fucking awesome.
Maybe he will.
Even J. Cole on like an off day would fucking annihilate Kanye West. Kanye West has not spit a dope bar that he himself wrote in 15 years.
You don't know nothing. You ever heard of the song Heil Hitler?
No.
That's a good one.
Not.
They played it in a club, which means it's good.
I'll be honest, Connor. I don't know if I might have to bleep that.
Everyone knows exactly what I would be saying.
We're in the first 3 minutes of the show, and you said the name of that song, and I don't think the YouTube's gonna like that.
If you're gonna talk about rap, that is a rap.
I don't
song,
even think they like the mention of the bad guys of World War II, Tavin.
Yeah, they may not, but they definitely don't like those 2 words that you just said next to each other.
Of course they don't.
I might have to just cut the audio on that right there.
Here, everybody sees because everyone knows what I just said. This is the cowardice of Tavin. That's why he's got no backbone when it comes down to it.
I mean, you say that, Connor, but realistically, for best algorithmic potential, I should be bleeping every curse word we say in the first 5 minutes, but I don't.
That's true.
Too much work.
So, I mean, like it cancels it out whenever I say I won't make you do 2 bits of editing. But the other thing.
I will mute that. Sorry.
Oh,
it just is what it is.
Oh, you don't have to apologize, Tavin. I already know you're pathetic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's how you feel.
A coward.
Yeah.
As I said, yeah.
Really?
No backbone.
Interesting.
Which I also said.
Yeah. That's funny. No backbone, but I at least am able to like get up and sit up straight, for more than 6 hours a day. Meanwhile, you're on your fucking ass going to bed, sleeping all the fucking time.
What? But you take more naps
It's
than
so
I
funny you're complaining about, backbone, you don't have a spine. Hey, at least I had the spine to set up the fucking recording today. You know where I found you? After you had woken up, after you took your morning shit, after you got ready to record, you know where I found you? Back in bed, when you knew I needed you. What the fuck were you doing back in bed?
This has everything to do with slothfulness, Tavin. Nothing with a spine. You're spineless. I'm slothful. There's a difference between us. Both S's. SS, you might say.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good lead-in from before.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Two Penny Gamescast. Each week, me and Connor come to you with the nerdy news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. You can watch this show live, except this week, every Monday afternoon, twitch.tv/2pennygames. But if you can't catch us live, not a problem. This show goes up on youtube.com/@TwoPennyGames every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time, alongside all of your mainstream podcast services of your choice. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all of the above. Make sure you drop a comment down below so that you can get your own audience 2 pennies involved in the chat, and so that we can talk about you and get your own 2 cents in. Did I get the 2 cents bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great,
Yes.
great. So it becomes such a habit, and you just, you
Yeah.
enter a flow state, and you're just getting all the information out that sometimes you forget all the information.
I zone you out.
I really should. I should have more faith in myself. I'm really that guy when we're really thinking about it.
Yeah, you just second guessed yourself, but sure, you're that guy.
Mm-hmm. But I'm that guy, so I don't need to second guess myself.
I'll give you a clap for that, Tavin. Good job. Huh?
Thank you. I
You
think it's
didn't.
well deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, we are not 1, but 2 weeks away from the Dark Souls 2 2-Penny Game Club review. Make sure you're playing that there, Dark Souls 2. There's going to be a lot of opinions about it. There's going to be a lot of nerdy talk. So make sure you're in on it. These are some of my favorite reviews, is when we can get in deep with the systems, the numbers.
I was flubbering earlier. You're flubbering now.
I just ran out of words and then just kept vocalizing for some reason. I need to get better about that.
That's
That's something I'm trying to get better about, is cutting down on the vocalizations, especially like the ums and the ahs. A lot, and I'm trying to get better about that.
FromSoft just makes you just feel something. It twists your tongue.
Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. You can find that out over on youtube.com/@2pennygames February 2nd.
His yelling in the other room proves it does make you feel something.
I mean, I get upset every time I lose 20,000 souls. Yeah, that's really upsetting. I think everybody would get upset by that. I've heard you vocalize whilst playing a FromSoft.
Of course.
I've heard it happen. Fucking what's his name from Erdtree, Radon. I heard you a couple times after Radon.
No, you didn't. I was silent and focused.
No, you weren't. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into our first topic of the day. This is, of course, our first penny of the day, our first story of the day, and it will be a young Connor Elliott's first topic. And as soon as he's done taking the time code,
you don't have to point it out. I was so seamless. I was seamless. It was done by the time you had pointed it out.
Connor, first topic, take it away.
Fucking asshole. Meta closes 3 studios, guts Batman VR developer in AI shift. Following a report on Monday from the New York Times that Meta, formerly Facebook, was to cut 10% of its VR employees due to the AI expansion, Bloomberg confirms Mark Zuckerberg's company has shut down Armature Studios, Sanzaru Games, Twisted Pixel Games, and made subsequent layoffs at Camouflage. That is Camouflage with an F-L-A-J instead of the G-U-E.
Yeah.
The shutdown.
There you go.
The shutdown VR developers are recently known for their work. The shutdown VR developers are recently known for their work on the Quest 2 VR port of Resident Evil 4, Asgard's Wrath 2, and Marvel's Deadpool VR, respectively. Created in 2008, Armature was acquired by Meta in 2022, where it had yet to develop a game since its acquisition, while Sanzaru Games, founded in 2006, made the first Asgard's Wrath for the Oculus Rift before its own acquisition in 2020. 2006 studio Twisted Pixel launched its first title under Meta, Marvel's Deadpool VR, in November 2025, reaching the #1 spot on the Quest weekly revenue charts. A day after this closure's confirmation, Aftermath reports from anonymous sources that Camouflage now comprises of, quote, just a handful of employees, end quote, developing, quote, the new user experience for the upcoming hardware, end quote. Employees like cinematic level designer Jordan Pearson and senior animator Caitlin S. took to LinkedIn to announce their layoffs from Camouflage, expressing their gratitude for time spent at the studio. The developer was founded in 2011, was acquired by Meta in 2022, where it went on to release 2024's VR game, Batman Arkham Shadow, having worked on another superhero VR game named Iron Man VR in 2020, prior to its loss of independence. CNBC reiterates back in December that Meta announced its shift resources away from its VR and AR development division, Reality Labs, to, quote, reinvest the savings to support the growth of wearables this year, end quote, like its AI glasses. Monday would see Zuckerberg post to its Thread account to announce, I accidentally said its Thread account, which is accurate. Fucking stupid, Connor, you idiot. dumbass idiot, to announce the establishment of a new initiative labeled, quote, Meta Compute, with the goal to build out its artificial intelligence infrastructure like data centers and AI-related investments a day before the layoffs were unveiled. Quote, today we're establishing a new top-level initiative called Meta Compute. Meta is planning to build tens of gigawatts this decade and hundreds of gigawatts or more over time. How we engineer, invest, and partner to build this infrastructure will become a strategic advantage. This effort will be led by Santosh Janardhan and Daniel Gross. Santosh will continue to lead our technical architecture, software stack, silicon program, developer productivity, and building and operating our global data center fleet and network. Daniel will lead a new group responsible for long-term capacity strategy, supplier partnerships, industry analysis, planning, and business modeling, end quote. Zuckerberg goes on to involve newly inducted Meta president and vice chairman Dina Powell McCormick in his post, and how the Meta Compute will work closely with her to, quote, work on partnering with governments and sovereigns to build, deploy, invest in, and finance Meta infrastructure, end quote.
Oh my God, there's more. Okay.
Yeah. Zuckerberg recently hired Alexander Wang, founder of private AI data company Scale AI, to serve as a lead in Meta's AI endeavors as part of a $14.3 billion Meta investment in the company, resulting in them now owning a 49% share in Scale AI. No stranger to hefty investments, Scale AI received $100 million from venture capitalist fund Founders Fund that was created in 2005 by Peter Thiel, Ken Howery, and Luke Nosek, raising the company's valuation above $1 billion. AI is rapidly expanded in the gaming space, with Microsoft laying off 9,000 employees last July, also due to AI expansion. South Korean gaming publisher Krafton declared its intent to, quote, lead AI innovation across the gaming industry, end quote. There's a quote here of how they were doing AI talk spiel about how they're advancing itself. Irrelevant because it's all theoretical bullshit. More studios have been victimized by the big corporations. This time, instead of Microsoft, it's Meta, which, you know, they talked a big game about going into the VR space, and it seems like just as quickly as they entered it, they left it. And now they're all on the next new thing, which is AI. And, you know, this industry is just, it's another example of how volatile it is for creators, that the whims of this giant corporation can be to buy up a studio and support them in their VR endeavors, to all of a sudden turn on them because that's not where the profit is. It's just, I hope this year is not another wave of that happening like it was in 2024 that kind of petered out in 2025. It's shaping up to be pretty bad. I mean, we're in the first month and you already have 3 different studios that aren't solely made for VR. They have a pretty storied history in what we kind of recently talked about as being the golden age of gaming, and that was irrelevant. I mean, they're just fed to the sharks to make money to make room for AI advancement. It's very dour.
I mean, yeah, Armature Studios, I know. Sanzaru, of course, known for, was their first game Azura's Wrath? No, something. No. They made something that like was really fuck.
I should have put more of it in when it came to their catalog. Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. So
I was going to say Thieves in Time is what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's where I was getting to, is that they did the Sly Cooper collection on PS3 and then the Thieves in Time. So yeah, Sanzaru's been around for quite a while. Like, these are studios who have a resume of games, and that we've heard of if you've had your ear to the ground for a while. So this is really disappointing and really upsetting. And several of them have made, when they pivoted to VR, have made some of the best VR games out there by all accounts. The Asgard's Wrath 2, of course, Resident Evil 4. The last several Resident Evils have all had VR modes and have all been greatly appreciated. Deadpool VR, less or so, but made money. And even Iron Man VR, less or so, but still liked. But of course, Batman Arkham Shadows made a huge splash when that game came out, last year? 2 years ago? 2 years.
It won at the Game Awards, I think, for best VR game.
Yeah. And it was one that, like, made some waves of, like, oh, this is a really good title. And, I mean, I think this is really a symptom of what you see a lot with tech is just the gold rush for the new technology.
Yeah.
And VR was one of those things that, like, when it popped off, everybody wanted a slice of that pie. And then there just became real life factors that put a cap on that industry. So all of the money dumped into it went to waste. So then we saw we've seen a bunch of VR studios get closed. This is another batch of them. This is like some of the most notable batches of them because these are studios that really made pretty high quality video games. So it's very upsetting to see them go in this way. I think this is probably a landmark moment for what might be the death of VR gaming, and this might be the flag that we can throw in the field of saying, it's over. But
right.
we don't know because as you wrote in your article, like there's a focus on getting VR or AR of any kind more wearable, and I think that was really what the problem with VR was in general. Is you looked goofy with the fucking headset on. It was very like sweaty. You needed certain parameters in your space to even use it.
A lot of gimmicky games,
but they were very gimmicky because, well, one, it's a new technology, and we have to figure out, what works in this new like medium of video games is what works and doesn't work. And so there had to be an experimental phase. But I think that kind of kneecapped it because there wasn't instantly a Half-Life Alyx, for example. There wasn't instantly one of those titles. So VR game kind of had a stigma to it. And because of that, they didn't really evolve or grow past that in any more meaningful ways outside of the key examples of like the ones that we've listed here. And then I think just interest in VR died, especially after the pandemic, which is weird because you would think that would have triggered it to have sort of a renaissance, and it just kind of didn't happen.
Well, the thing,
and then we've seen failures like the PlayStation VR 2 happen. Of course, VR space on PC has been more prominent and certainly more fruitful. Quest VR 2 definitely more fruitful, but I think I think we're just looking at an era where it's just like we didn't meet the practicality of VR alongside the level of technology yet, and I think that killed public interest. So like all that to say, if we had found a way to make VR more practical before we dove so deep into it, I think it would have had a better shot.
And despite that being true, Meta seemed to be one of at the forefront of developing VR games. They bought all these studios.
They invested big.
They did. They really, really did. And you mentioned it kind of before. It was them just jumping on trends. That's what they do. It's what Zuckerberg does.
And now
I'll
it's
get
AI.
to that in a second here. Now it's AI, and we'll see how that turns out. But
2027, OpenAI is supposed to go bankrupt. So let's keep them fingers crossed, baby.
The thing about Arkham Shadow is I think the success of that game saved the studio from being cut. Because I think they still want to make a VR games.
They got cut a year later, Connor.
Wait, what, Camouflage Games?
Yeah.
No, that's my point. It's still around, though. When you're doing all of these closures of VR studios, it seems like you're completely leaving the VR space. But it seems they chose the one that had the most potential to do more successful VR games, kept them around to have at least a division doing that. They still want to have an entryway into that market, and they saw the other ones as being blood to throw in the water that was a bad analogy. To be cannibalized, to be broken up. I'm assuming some people are going to stay with the company, but for the most part, they certainly are going to just be fired because they're probably people that focus more on the development of VR video games rather than just general VR technology in terms of things like wearables. They probably have their own specific division for that.
Yeah.
But, Zuckerberg being the head of Meta, you see this politically with how he was very supportive of DEI policies that were under the Biden administration. And he immediately pivoted when Trump targeted those systems, kind of acting like he never was really a fan for it, and immediately cut them so he doesn't get the wrath of Trump. And this is who this guy is. He jumps on to trains and then hops off when it's immediately advantageous for him to do so. And now that VR space isn't as profitable as the AI space could be, because again, that's still a very theoretical area of it's a theoretical industry. We haven't really seen...
Nobody's made money off of it yet.
Exactly. And Meta, being ones who always try to get in on the new technology to be at the forefront of things, this is just them doing that. And it's just to scrounge for profit wherever you can. It's very disappointing, but as you said, Tavin, I think this does really serve as the death bell for VR as a general form of games.
I mean, you never know. In another 5 years, Google might have a new version of Google Glass that like is just a pair of glasses, and you fit it on your face, and you wouldn't know the difference. And maybe those will work.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways, VR gaming can be more applicable to flat screen gaming in the sense of like, I don't need a big monitor everywhere I go. If I want to play my games, I can just click a button on my glasses and through the cloud stream my game with my phone or on a controller that I've just thrown in my backpack, and then the screen is wherever I place it in the environment around me or something like that, But like in terms of the one-to-one, like the motion controls and what you would see as a VR game, yeah, I think those are going to go away. You're going to see, we're already seeing less and less of them. I would be surprised if 2020, I guess that's next year, so maybe a little longer, 2028 SGF, you see another VR game where you're just going through dungeons fighting skeletons.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if we see that in the next 2 years, but we'll see. But yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in the future of VR games right now, which is upsetting because I was someone who was quite excited about the medium growing, and I thought in a lot of ways we were growing it at a smart pace and in a smart way. PlayStation VR, the first one, was very successful. And then you saw, different metas and quests and all of those find success in the PC market and continue to have success in the PC market. But then, interest died and piddled out, and the overwhelming majority of the games were shovelware. And that's disappointing,
Yeah.
And we just never got past what felt like tech demos outside of some key examples. And sure, those key examples by all means were great, but, and then the practicality argument comes in where I don't have space for VR, or every time I have space, I have to move a bunch of furniture around, and it's for this one game, so I haven't used my VR headset in 8-9 months, so now I gotta find whatever closet I stored it in and dust it off, and there's wires. It was just too much work. There wasn't enough practicality in the technology when it came out.
Not even touching on the price of these things, which just think of going to other things far more for a VR device. I mean, especially with the Switch 2 out now, which allows you to carry a very, very nice console wherever you want, play it as a party console with friends, far more just accessible to play wherever you want, as opposed to a VR thing that just costs very similar.
The Switch has a headset accessory, right? That you can slide it in and use it. And it's not like,
I can believe it.
I think you can use it for some gyroscope type games or something like that. I could be wrong. Somebody has a headset that you just slide a handheld in.
Third party frames, but
okay.
Yeah.
I think of the Nintendo Labo. That's what I think of.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought there was something like Labo focused or something like that. But it is what it is. It's very unfortunate. Rest in peace to those studios. Those studios made a lot of really quality games. I don't think we're not looking at cream of the crop from any of them, but we were looking at before their VR time, quality games that people have affinity for. So that's really upsetting to see them go in that way. Connor, we're going to move on to our second topic of the day, our second story of the day. That is my first topic, my first penny. Resident Evil Code Veronica remake rumored to release in 2026. And of course, I want to remind everybody that every story we read on the Gamescast was written by our very own Connor Elliott. And you can read each of those articles over at TwoPennyGamesNews.substack.com.
Oh, yeah.
There is a link in the description, so please go ahead and check that out and give us a click on that site as well. Resident Evil Code Veronica remake. I already said that. Longtime rumors suggest Capcom has been developing a remake of 2000's spin-off title Resident Evil Code Veronica, and recent rumors lean towards a 2026 release year. Resident Evil gossiper Dusk Gollum responded to a follower theorizing that a post from Resident Evil 5 voice actress Eva Lader hinted at a remake of the game for 2026. But Dusk Gollum vehemently shuts it down. No, there is not a Resident Evil 5 remake that's going to be announced this year, the post reads. Quote, instead, later this year, an RE remake that starts with C and ends with Ode Veronica is going to be announced, I promise you. Her thing is something else, not a remake of RE5. Video Game Chronicle confirms in its own article on the subject that Code Veronica as well as Resident Evil 0 were in the remake factory, coinciding with what Dusk Golem has said in the past. Capcom has been consistently putting out remakes of past mainline games, starting with Resident Evil 2, progressing to Resident Evil 3, and most recently dropping 2023's Resident Evil 4. Resulting in assumptions that the fifth entry would receive similar treatment, Capcom has neither confirmed nor denied any such rumors. And to that, I mean, yes, 5 seemed like the most logical thing, but also like they skipped over Code Veronica, which was initially, when it initially launched, was going to be Resident Evil 3, but it got pushed to the PlayStation 2, and it was taking a little bit longer to develop, so they cranked out what became Resident Evil 3 Nemesis first on PlayStation 1.
Took all the light.
You know? And Code Veronica's still a mainline game, you know, featuring Claire Redfield, so like
And Chris.
If these rumors are true, this is the first time we're seeing Claire since 2019's Resident Evil 2 remake. Hasn't been in a mainline game since.
That's a sin.
Where is she, Capcom?
And hey, maybe now this is what they're thinking. Hey, we can reintroduce Claire back into the story of Resident Evil.
Wouldn't that have been Resident Evil 2's job?
You would think, but you have again. This is how the path they've gone on is 3. She's not in that one. She's not in 4. And then you're making new games. And people like Leon, they also wanted to go with this new horror side that they're going with. Claire wouldn't really work for that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she was in Requiem.
She might show up. I think they should do that because, again, it's Raccoon City. It's the NYPD.
I wouldn't. The big. I'll call them the big 4.
RCPD.
The big 4, meaning the playable characters from the first 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised if all 4 of them are in Requiem, because returning to Raccoon City, all 4 of them, it would make sense to also be there, you know, and we've just been confirmed that only Leon, because Leon's playable.
Yeah.
But we'll see in February. I'm very excited for Requiem, and I'm very excited for whatever Resident Evil has coming to us. Code Veronica is not necessarily one that I'm personally excited for. I would have liked a 5. I would have liked a Resident Evil 1, another Resident Evil 1 remake, personally.
Come on,
in the style
give it a rest.
of 2. I know. It's a little egregious, but I get it. Resident Evil 0 also is interesting to me because that's a game that like is not beloved by fans. So to make it, let's hope, up to quality of the other ones, I think would be cool. But I think missing the context of the original Resident Evil for modern day fans would be an interesting thing as well. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. The thing is that they just have such a, I wouldn't say gold mine, but they have a lot of spin-off games to draw on to add to this remake craze that they're going on. And, you know, they don't need to do it, but there's people have fond memories of those games.
Nobody wants the spin-offs.
No, but I mean, I think that's there's people that would, because again, this was a big part of Resident Evil when it was in its heyday. You had the mainline games that were coming out, but you also had a lot of other meat to chew on. Now, again,
are you not considering Code Veronica and 0 as mainline games?
No, I'm considering them spin-offs. You know, they might have been given a lot of attention.
Code Veronica is Resident Evil 3. I mean, it's only not in name.
But it's hard for people to really conceptualize it as that when you're not a numbered mainline title, because that's what they've established as being the mainline Resident Evil games. If they didn't want to do that, they shouldn't have.
I mean, you might feel that way, but fans consider Code Veronica mainline.
Yeah, that's true, fans. But then again, a lot of people, when they're hearing about this, that are going to be the bulk of people that hadn't played it, they're going to see Code Veronica. I guess that was one of those many Resident Evil spin-off games, because everyone knows that is into gaming, that Resident Evil likes its spin-offs. They did a lot of them. And so I think it's kind of been added to that.
But when you say spin-offs, you get a lot of like Operation Raccoon City, or like Revelations.
I mean, I think that's the nature of spin-offs in general. You either get a lot of just dog shit,
right?
But you also get
Code
some
Veronica
nice gems.
Code Veronica is mainline. Like it's only not numbered in title alone. Like that was Resident Evil 3. Like if anything, Nemesis is more of a spin-off than Code Veronica, just because of how they were produced.
Maybe Capcom should market their games better.
I mean, this is not. We're looking at 99, 2000. This is 26 years ago. You know, it's hard to. You know, we can look back on these things and Monday morning football coach it all live long day. But Code Veronica is a mainline title. It's got Claire.
So does Revelations 2.
Yeah, but that was also not on a console. Like,
yeah, it was. The first one wasn't on a console. The second one was.
It's they're DS titles, Connor.
No, the second one's not.
Pretty sure the second one started at 3DS and came to the other ones later.
Well, I'll find out. But
I mean, Revelations is by definition a spinoff because it was on a handheld console, and it's just not a mainline game. Like you're never gonna get a Revelations remake. I mean,
Can I interject?
I'm not gonna say never, but you know.
Real quick, Tavin, your take about wanting another another Resident Evil 1 remake is like you're such a Gen 1 Pokemon enjoyer and you don't even know it. Because like that's what Game Freak is like. They're always doing Gen 1 over and over and over, and people are tired of it.
I'm not alone, is because the Resident Evil 1 remake that exists still gets criticized for quote unquote tank controls, even those aren't really tank controls. And still having the fixed cameras and all that, like it still gets criticized in those ways. I think if that bothers you, you need to step your game up. You need to be a better gamer, a more hardcore gamer, and not a real gamer unless you're cool with a fixed camera every once in a while.
That is true. That was the period of time where a lot of like Silent Hill, the other big survival horror game, was doing that exact same thing. It was a very definitive aspect of those games back in the day. And if you can't play them that way, that's your fault.
It's your fault.
Problem, yeah.
It's really not that hard to adjust.
It's not either.
It's really not.
It's a matter of adjusting. That's all it is. Once you adjust to how the game plays,
I mean, like to be fair, like there were games that did it. Like Metal Gear Solid did it better. I would argue.
Sure, yeah.
But I understand why we don't get so many of them as we used to anymore. But like I mean, Signalis was fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, but I like Resident Evil. All that to say, Resident Evil 1 getting remade in the style of the other remakes that we've been having has been a common expressed desire amongst the fan base, and I get it.
Yeah, among people that can't let it go.
And any chance to re-explore the Spencer Mansion, I'm 100% down for.
Jokes aside, it would be pretty cool.
I would fucking love it.
Yeah.
I would fucking love it. But
especially that later half, I feel like they could make that really fucking scary. Like when you go into the underground.
I guess the lab section's always kind of like whatever to me.
Something about Resident Evil 1's lab section just really works. I think it's the big shark, very scary. And the hunters that come after
I'll
it.
tell you what, I don't know how much of the original Resident Evil 1 you've seen, but the lab is much better in Remake.
I bet.
So much better in Remake. Yeah, so, and then those like weird like bug fucking things.
Yeah.
That like I didn't know existed before Resident Evil 5. The like scared motherfuckers. Yep. Yeah, those things could be creepy with modern graphics and camera perspective and lighting and all those things. So yeah, all of that to say, Code Veronica seems like the right choice to me.
It does.
It's certainly the easiest because what do you do with Resident Evil 5? It's co-op. The story is so dramatically different. The tone is so dramatically different than everything we've done up to this point. Like, even though, yes, the tone and the gameplay of 4 was dramatically different from prior, it was still close enough that you could see, you could envision what Resident Evil 4 Remake was before you saw it, right? It's a little harder to envision what RE5 Remake is before that. Code Veronica is a safer, easier, and just makes more sense choice. And it's also a way to shed light on a mainline entry that doesn't get the love it deserves. I'll say this, Connor. I'm playing the original before this remake comes out so that I can have... Because I've never had the experience as a Resident Evil fan. Well, I guess 4, so never mind. But I was going to say I've never had the experience of playing one of the originals before the remake. But, of course, I played Resident Evil 4 several times before the remake. And so, yeah, I'm very... I'm dedicating Code Veronica. I'm playing that so I can know what it was before that remake comes out.
Get your blind spots covered, buddy.
Yeah. There's a part of me if we didn't play games for content, Connor, I would be mainlining every Resident Evil game right now. And just diving deep and being...
I won't even mock you.
As much as I am like one of the Metal Gear Solid guys, I would be a Resident Evil guy.
Kind of almost already are.
I'm real close.
Yeah,
I'm real close. I gotta go play. I really have to go play those first 3-4 games.
What do you say
it to really be one of those guys? You know what I mean?
Otherwise, you're just a guy hopping on the bandwagon.
Literally, Look at this. Look at me. Resident Evil 7 came out, and suddenly I was all about Resident Evil.
You almost were. You're kind of the same way with Final Fantasy. I know Final Fantasies are so different.
I'm a 7 guy, but I'm not a Final Fantasy guy.
Yeah.
I would never claim.
You know what?
I'm certainly a 7 guy.
Final Fantasy allows you to do that. You get that.
Yeah.
You could be a Final Fantasy specific guy.
Yeah. Well, I think 7 even more so, and there's some other titles that follow, like 10 and
4 even
13. The ones that have sequels and spinoffs and like a more like fleshed out universe. You know what I'm saying? Of like, all right, we're gonna go do these side stories and all these things.
14, huh?
Did you say 4?
14. 4 as well. 4 spinoffs. Not a good
Does
one.
it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's apparently not
Yeah.
good.
So I mean, like, you can be a Final Fantasy VII guy and not be a Final Fantasy guy. I want to be better about that. I want to be a Final Fantasy guy. You know, all in due time.
I got to play 12 again.
Again?
Yeah. I never beat the remake. I stopped. So
People don't like that one, right?
it's considered by a lot of people, like me, to be the most underrated one.
Oh, okay.
But quality. Like, it's a good quality. It's better than 13 by a good amount.
I mean, you're certainly like, I don't know if I would call you a Final Fantasy guy, but you're certainly more equipped to talk about it than I am by far, because you've played more than one of them. Whereas, like, yeah, I've played every version of 7, and
6.
I played
4, and
I played a couple hours of 16. That's it. That's all I got.
I'm gonna be trying. I'm always striving to be a Final Fantasy guy. That's why I picked up Final Fantasy
16
9.
so good.
What is?
16.
16 is good. Not one of the best, but
It's a very average video game.
Spider-Man 2 fan.
Oh,
10,
very
10.
average.
Fucking loser.
Oh, I'm Phil and Connor. As long as you jangle keys in front of my face and make some flashy animations, that's all I need for a good quality video
I
game.
repeat, Spider-Man 2, 10 out of 10.
Spider-Man 2 has way more gameplay depth than Final Fantasy 16 by any measure.
That's
not true at all. Not even true. Not even true.
That's 100% true. You guys can't even argue this. I've played enough of both games to know.
I played all of both games.
Fix your microphone.
Ooh. And while Tavin's doing that, I'm just right. Phil's right, because we played both of them all the way through. Tavin's played a little bit of one and all of one. How many times? How many times you played 2? Spider-Man Shell?
Twice.
Look at this guy.
3 times?
Look, 3. He can't even know. 10 out of 10 doesn't even
Twice.
know.
I've done it twice.
Twice, okay.
I played through Final Fantasy 16 for the platinum, so twice for the platinum, I should say.
He's the most authoritative on this. By your own example,
It's incredible his square button still works, you know?
right? He played Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy 16. It's rough. Can't even say no.
I don't even know where I am anymore, honestly. I lost all track. Resident Evil Code Veronica, I'm going to play Code Veronica before this remake comes out for sure. I do not believe it's coming out this year.
Yeah, that's the sure. I mean, it could not.
Why would we? We have a mainline title this year. That's more than enough. I mean, like,
Didn't they do that with?
They've back to backed a couple of years.
Well,
but they've never done 2 in the same year.
Seeing how 1 would be the recreation of a spin-off game, why not?
It's not a recreation of a spin-off. It's a recreation of
I mean, it'll be
game.
proven true when we find out a spin-off game and a mainline game come out in the same year. It'll happen.
I mean, even if it does come out this year, it's still 2 mainline games coming out this year.
Whatever you say, man.
You know. So, anyways, moving on to topic number 3. This is going to be my second penny of the day. Steam updates AI disclosure policy to assist AI use by developers. Simon Careless.
Yeah. I read that over and over, and I kept saying careless.
Yeah.
It's Carless.
Carless, yeah. Simon Carless, head of the analytical gaming company Game Discovery Co., posted to his LinkedIn page regarding an update. It's insane to me that y'all think Final Fantasy 16 has more gameplay depth than
No. I didn't say more. I did not say more. I did not say more.
It's
you
not
put
the
words.
same. It's not the same.
Say it is the same.
It's not the same. Moving on. Like, your different abilities and like aesthetics matter in Spider-Man 2. Fucking the environmental shit is all the same. It doesn't matter what you hit it with.
I never really use the tools
In 16?
in Spider-Man 2. When you're a web slinger guy, you're gonna use like a bomb.
Man, you probably played on easy too. You fucking
I didn't play on
bum
easy.
ass
I didn't play
bitch.
on easy, you bitch.
Nah, you're an easy.
I never
Spider-Man's
do.
too
I never
complicated
do.
For you.
Shut
Too many
up.
buttons. You know.
Too
It's
many. Too many. That's not the issue at
You
all.
got too many buttons, man.
Read the fucking
You know
story.
what?
Damn.
Oh, where were we? Head of analytical gaming company Game Discover Co. posted to its LinkedIn page regarding an update to the gaming marketplace Steam that exempts, quote, AI-powered tools from being countered as a use of AI. Quote, the headline is that Valve's making it clearer that AI-powered tools like code helpers do not trigger the need to disclose any use. Carlos writes, quote, efficiency gains through the use of AI-powered dev tools is not the focus of this section. Steam still requires developers to disclose two specific types of AI. The first being AI that, quote, generate content for the game, such as, quote, the game itself, the store page, or marketing materials. Secondly, AI that generates gameplay content like text, images, and audio must be made aware to consumers. Totally Human Media recently found that on Steam, at least 20% of all 2025 video games released disclosed using generative AI, largely for the purpose of visual asset creation, specifically comprising 60% of the 7,818 games found to implement AI as of July of 2025. It's relevant to note that the disclosure of AI heavily relies on developer transparency, which means the real rate of AI usage on Steam games is greater than reports indicate. Now, Connor, can you explain for us the difference between AI-powered tools and then generative AI content?
That's my issue. I guess why it seems like it's muddying the waters, because AI-powered tools can be powered through, generative AI, but...
Well, if it's AI-powered tools to, like, scroll through coding and find what's wrong with coding or anything like that, or maybe this texture is not lined up properly, maybe use an AI tool to help snap it into place or something like that. Or I guess use AI to be able to figure out, like, when a music cue is supposed to hit a little bit better.
For an example that I have is I use a device called Descript. I don't know if this is the thing I use. It has AI functions.
Yeah.
I don't think I use any of the AI functions. I just use it really for subtitles. That, if it could somehow be implemented into gaming, would count as an AI-powered tool.
Right.
Because it has AI features on it, but it's not one where it's just outright a generative AI tool, like, for example, ChatGPT that's being used to generate lines of dialogue for a character. And so, again, it's because AI is such an emerging technology, people don't really know. Like, for example, recently there was the case of Claire Obscure's developer, Sandfall Interactive, having used AI, but it wasn't in the same sense as they were using it to generate any of the things I was saying before, like the entire game or audio or music or concept art or anything like that.
That specific problem is they used
Unreal Engine
AI-generated assets that were available in Unreal Engine 5 that they were not aware, to my understanding of the story, and if I choose to believe them, which I do, they were not aware were generated by AI, and once they had discovered that, they went in and replaced that, and it wasn't discovered until after the game was already out. So, like, it's stories like that lead us to go, all right, well, it's a very slippery slope, and very quickly, generative AI is just art theft. Bottom line, period. So allowing these types of things into our art-based medium, art and technology-based medium, creates a very slippery slope where we can very easily fall into mistakes like that, or even worse if someone does it intentionally. So Steam going and saying, all right, well, if you're just using AI-powered tools to just kind of make the process of the work function a little bit better, a little bit smoother, that's a little bit more of, like, what we want from AI. So, like, being like, all right, well, you don't have to disclose that is understandable, I think.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope, because where does the line... We need to be much more clear about where the lines are drawn.
And that's really the core issue here, because, first of all, you're already running into the problem of you can use generative AI for things like what they're talking about here. You have to disclose them for, whether it's the entire game or any other certain elements in the gameplay. But, what's stopping them from saying, why should not just point that? Why just don't point that out? How are they otherwise going to find out that AI was used?
You're saying through the transparency stuff.
Yeah, and so that combined with the fact that they could use just AI and then classify that in their own mind as like, well, that's an AI-powered tool rather than just an AI, I guess, chat machine. Again, I'm assuming they wouldn't use that like a
script creator, something that, like, creates an audio cue through generative AI or things like that, versus, like, the AI detecting, hey, there appears to be an error there. Did you mean this?
And it's important to muddy up those waters in a way, because a lot of people like us would see something that's disclosing the use of AI and immediately say, well, I'm not going to play that. Honesty doesn't really matter to me, because, it matters to me, but in the sense of you're just basically telling me, someone like me, well, now I just know specifically not to play your game. And I think developers would see that as being an issue, and now this is a workaround around
I think
that.
that's the challenge of like developers being transparent and then also the consumer being educated on the matter. Because
which I am not as educated as I should be at all.
Right. Well, my first instinct when I say, we used AI in this product is to not engage with your product. That's my first instinct. I mean, people use ChatGPT as a Google search engine.
Mm-hmm.
When people tell me that, I think they're stupid. But like, what's really the difference between that and me using Google and accepting the AI answer off of Google? There really isn't one.
Yeah.
Right. And then, a lot of times you then go into the Google search and actually do the reading and you come up with the same answer anyway, a lot of the time anyway. So like, is there really that big of a difference? And these are the questions that we have to now wrestle with and figure out as we continue down this road, right? But the problem for me really comes in when it comes with the generative AI, which is not what is being triggered. Ideally, what is being triggered here by this Steam change of policy.
Again, as you mentioned it before, and I hate the term at this point because we say it all the time in these goddamn stories with AI, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
is the core issue.
Yep. Well, it's because we're slipping and sliding, Connor.
We are.
2027 can't come soon enough.
What was it? I think it was OpenAI was like losing money. They just broke today.
Oh, dude, they're bleeding. Yeah, they're
like
very in the red.
$14 million.
That's what I was saying. I was saying it earlier. Yeah, they're set to be out of business by 27.
So it's like, well, hopefully that no.
I'm praying it happens.
Hopefully, from their perspective, they're able to make it work.
Happens.
But I am too. Yeah, it'll be very, very nice. By the way, Sam Altman, who's the head of OpenAI, he has been accused for a while now by his sister of ever since she was like 3 to the age of 7 that he had been sexually assaulting her. I'm assuming that guy is a trustworthy individual, and he did not do that. But just so you guys know, that is out there. Yeah, and he was older, of course. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is
Sam Altman, great guy, I hear.
This is new information.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Now you know it.
Now there's another reason to just not like another billionaire in the world.
Pretty big reason too.
Also, we didn't even mention of the environmental effects and the economic effects of AI, and what it's doing to our water, what it's doing to our air, what it's doing to the
electricity use,
and all of that stuff. Connor, we're gonna move on to our final topic of the day, your second penny of the day. Go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Former lore master. Let me reiterate that. Former lore master and Skyrim designer details his departure from Bethesda.
What was the difference between those two?
Because I like the quotes was like, that's what he's called. That's why I put it in the title. But when I did it, it was like insulting of like, oh, the lore master. He is the lore master. Pay respect to him. Lead designer on the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim and Bethesda veteran Kurt Kuhlman discusses how the company was no longer what it once was and a broken promise by Todd Howard to serve as lead on the Elder Scrolls VI. Speaking with PC Gamer, Coleman, once Elder Scrolls' foremost lore master, elaborates on how once Bethesda grew in size, it became something Coleman was not, quote, super happy with. By the time Starfield was fully in development, end quote. By the time Starfield was fully in development, 4 remote studios working in tandem wasn't the same as the period when Coleman worked with a small team crafting 1996's The Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall. Quote, when you get to that size, you can't have people just popping into Todd Howard's office to chat about a design point, Coleman explains. He's not having lunch with everybody. It's very different when it's 400 people, 4 studios, big business, and Microsoft is now involved, end quote. Howard's reduced role as hands-on designer after Skyrim's release in 2011 and the massive expansion of the developer, which would ultimately see its parent company ZeniMax Media acquired by Microsoft in 2020, resulted in a, quote, more bureaucratic, end quote, feel. Sometime after Skyrim's launch, Coleman says he was given a promise by Howard that he'd serve as lead on the franchise's 6th entry, but Bethesda's future plans didn't allow for it to come to pass. Quote, of course, after Fallout 4, we didn't go to TES 6. We made Fallout 76, and even then, we didn't make TES 6. We made Starfield, which became this extremely long project compared to other ones, end quote. Coleman says, continuing, so from my point of view, I've been waiting like 11 years to be lead on TES 6. I was obviously one of the old-timers there and had a lot of experience. Bruce Nesmith and I had been the co-leads on Skyrim. I think most people would call it a successful project. So I thought that it wasn't unreasonable for me to think that I could be a successful lead on TES 6. It wasn't just my expectation. I had been told that was going to happen, end quote. Coleman had plans to make Elder Scrolls 6 the Empire Strikes Back of the franchise.
What the fuck does that even mean?
By having of the franchise, by having the racist elves, the Thalmor, achieve overall victory over the player character's goals, and a marked change from what he describes as the, quote, chosen one archetype Bethesda's protagonists have become known for, despite what might appear to be resentment over being circumvented for the lead on an Elder Scrolls game. It's acknowledged Coleman holds no ill will over how things transpired, and that in combination with the studio's direction, quote, they may have made the right decision, end quote. Again, in the context of the story, it's more of how he became disillusioned with Bethesda and how it progressed, and maybe being the lead on a project, maybe that wouldn't have worked out with just how they.
Well, that doesn't sound like a good pitch for Elder Scrolls 6.
Does it not?
No. That's
always what these Elder Scrolls That's one of the big criticisms of Starfield. Spoiler alert, it's a shit game. The whole thing is like, oh, you're like the interdimensional traveler or some bullshit time warp stuff. It's irrelevant. They added the whole like Dragonborn type character archetype with Starfield's protagonist.
Plotting a power-based fantasy around the idea that you lose in the end is not going to work for general audiences.
Who gives a shit? It's more interesting. You think that back in the day...
Who gives a shit?
You think back in the day everyone was like,
Connor, these are some of the biggest games of all time. They're very expensive to make. People need to buy them.
And he does touch on it about that's what their trepidation would have been, because then you would have had to wait. But we're talking about the art, dude, not the culture. That's stupid.
Also, there would not have been a sequel to it. You would have not... It's not like the Empire Strikes Back cliffhanger... Oh, and then we get the resolution in the next one. There would not have been a direct sequel to that game.
Maybe they didn't waste fucking time on Fallout 76 and Starfield. They could have done both those things in a good amount of time.
It is what it is. They were a big company. Yeah, you can't have lunch with Todd Harrod every other fucking day. He's in charge of 700 more lives than you.
And maybe that means why the games have dipped in quality comparative to their past titles.
Well, they've dipped in quality because they've not adapted to the times and they've just keep making the same game. And guess what, Connor? You may call Starfield a shit game. It's the same level of quality as Skyrim.
It's way more bland.
Skyrim was accessible
and soulless.
No, Skyrim was just acceptable in 2011 as opposed to 2020, whatever the fuck.
Those have like cool dragon fights. Those have cool expansive worlds that have fun side quests.
Of like, oh, but I get to craft my ship and go on cool space adventures. And like, you're just selling me setting. You're selling me aesthetic.
People still goon to Serana years after she became a companion. And do you know who the companion was?
Fuck who people on the internet jerk off to.
No, she was also a good companion. Do you know who the good companion is in Starfield is? Spoiler, there is none. They're all blame, boring,
I don't remember
no
any
nonsense.
I don't remember any names because I haven't played it.
Guys, if we make like imagine a guy who like pilots a ship in space and we give him a cowboy hat. Guys, he's like a space cowboy.
Sounds like everybody in Fallout.
He was boring. Everybody in Fallout? No. You got Boone, who's the 1,000-yard stare if you could see beyond his sunglasses. Lesbian representation. Ghoul.
I promise you, Starfield's probably on the same level of quality as most Bethesda titles. That's just not acceptable in the 2020s like it was in the 2010s.
The point is, going away from what we were talking about before. The Empire Strikes Back, when that came out, you're going to tell me that the expectation wasn't, well, of course Luke Skywalker is going to win another one over the Empire.
No, but they didn't. No, audiences walked out not liking the ending. But guess what? In 3 years, they had a sequel.
Yeah,
and you would never get that sequel. And then with time, it was grown to be and learned to be appreciated and beloved and became the favorite.
That's the thing.
That version of Elder Scrolls 6 would never become the favorite Elder Scrolls.
Tavin, The Last of Us Part 2 had a controversial ending. Yeah. Are you going to argue that all of a sudden they were like, well, wait a second, guys, we shouldn't do this kind of thing again?
The first one also had a controversy.
There you go. And that took how many years before the next one came out?
Right, but it was also a direct sequel, Connor.
This is also The Elder Scrolls. Do you think people aren't going to go, well, people don't even give that much of a shit about the main campaign. You think all of a sudden they're going to say, wait a second, this is going a step too far.
The internet?
What?
The internet.
The internet.
Yes, the internet would
the fans
do
too.
That.
The fans don't even care about the main plots of most Elder Scrolls games.
Right, because they're mostly boring. Back to the note of every Bethesda game is the same.
And now you're criticizing what wouldn't be a boring choice of subverting the entire thing of the hero
Connor,
wins.
Who's the main companion of the Elder Scrolls 5?
The Elder Scrolls 5?
In the main campaign, who's the main companion? There is one. Who is it?
Daphne?
There you go. I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, I mean, she's the shoe-in. I'm not an interesting DLC character like Serana, voiced by Laura Bailey. She was a shitty character who then tries to kill a good dragon. She sucked.
Also, we're going to have a repeat of an argument that we've been having behind the scenes. DLC does not add value to the game.
Oh my god!
So Serana should not count.
It doesn't
because
add value to the
Skyrim
game.
was already Skyrim
He's
before,
thinking culturally.
before Dragonborn came
First of
out.
all, it doesn't add value to the game culturally. That was the argument we had. You were talking from the culture perspective. I'm talking from the art perspective because I care about things like the spirit of what The Empire Strikes Back was. I thought you were the Star Wars fan who actually had good takes on it, but I guess not.
To this story, I mean, Homeboy admits it. It's probably what they're probably making the smarter choice. Yeah, they're probably making the smarter choice. You know, it's calculated.
Well,
and listen, yeah, this is a studio that kept finding success and then eventually found unprecedented success with Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, they're gonna get bigger. They're gonna hire more people so that they can make bigger games. And those bigger games take longer. This is the trend of the industry. Yeah. Is it like cool? Not necessarily. Would I rather it be smaller? Probably. Especially right now when it seems like the smaller studios are the ones kicking the most ass right now. But that's not the way things went down. And it's a business. Like, we are art meets technology. Yeah, it takes a long time sometimes to make these video games.
You gotta suck it up. You gotta wait. That's all you gotta do. People have waited for GTA 6. Like, wait for this.
But like, just like the premise of like a franchise, a developer studio who's known for making RPGs that are like about becoming the most powerful being in the world. All of them, even down to like the Fallouts, are at the end of the day, Fallout is just about being more powerful than a Deathclaw or whatever, right? Like, and getting to the point where you can one-shot everything, right? That's part of the joy of it. Having that and then being the one where but we lose at the end. Nobody's gonna like that.
I think people would be fine with it.
Wasn't that Fallout 4's plot? Nobody liked it.
I don't think
Don't you lose at the end of Fallout 4?
And even then, I didn't include it in the full quote, which probably would have been useful considering the conversation where it's gone. He did mention they would win in the sense of like, oh, you secure the heir for the future Emperor of Tamriel. So there's a win within the loss.
It's a small win within the bigger loss.
Yeah, like your character has like a journey he takes and is successful. I mean, that would just the larger.
That's cool from a lore perspective. How many people are in love with the lore of?
I think that changes up.
There's people. Don't get me wrong. There's always people. But like, I mean, but these people also probably read the books. But in Skyrim, and Connor, have you read the books in Skyrim? No, you haven't.
Lusty Argonian Maid. Are you kidding me?
Don't even fucking lie to me.
Lusty Argonian Maid.
You may have read that one just because it got memed out. All right, so you're reading the ones that like get memed out by the community, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'll read it. But you're not the one going, ooh, a new book. Let me open it up and read and see what's in it.
I did it for more than Lusty Argonian Maid. That's the only one I remember because the meme stuff.
All I know about the books is the fucking the Unraveled guy, whoever his name is, Brian, whatever, who did a video about the best books in Skyrim, and I was like, all right, cool.
That's funny. But yeah, I can't remember where my original point was going to be. Oh well, it's in the ether now. The aether.
It's a pretty fluffy story, Connor. It's pretty.
Yeah.
There were other stories we could have grabbed.
Like what?
Fucking there was that this talk about a new Switch model. I mean, just as interesting in my opinion. Like,
I think less interesting. We just got Switch 2. Focus on the fucking games, buddies. Like, shut the hell up.
Focusing on the games. We're getting the games. The games are coming.
So shut the fuck up about a new model. Sit down. Focus on what you got.
You know an OLED model's coming.
Yeah, so it's like, the OLED model is better than the first one.
There's probably a model with a better battery life.
Yeah, which is what it would need.
It needs
that
the
most
desperately.
important part.
Am I tripping? The battery life for the Switch 2 feels less than the Switch 1's battery life.
Oh, it definitely is.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It's definitively the case.
When I said that, either in the chat or at some point I said that, and Phil was like, oh, yeah, but the Switch 1 wasn't that good either. I was like,
sure, not good.
Like, it wasn't great, but, like, Switch 2 is definitely worse.
I guess it's just the higher processing power to make
it also depends on the games that you play, XYZ. So, like, I guess, like, Donkey Kong Bonanza does demand more from my Switch than the Messenger.
Certainly Final Fantasy 9.
But I also played Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, and like, I never felt like, oh, shit, I don't have enough time to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
OLED model. So I love big screens. That's the most substantial thing.
I'm cool.
Yeah, so that's why.
I think I just generally liked the form factor of Switch 1 better.
And also, I'm going to pay more fucking money? I just bought one.
Well, it's not for you. I mean, it can be for you if you want to be that guy, but then it's just not for you.
I think that's most people, though, also. Like, so not a rich person?
I mean, you can say that about every console ever. Connor, yes. Consoles are iterative now. What
Now,
What about this is news
well,
to you?
Now we're entering a new space of the console era.
It's not that new.
No, now we are. We're entering into a new one where
The
technological
PlayStation 4
leaps-
Pro is 10 years old.
Yeah, but those updated ones are at least years later. We're not talking about it a year after the PS4 comes out of like now we must make the Pro model. Or the PS5 for that matter.
But like it's not going to be a Switch 2 Pro. It's just going to be like a Switch 2 honestly not even worth talking about. It's just the new version of the Switch 2.
Even worse.
You know? Cuz they very often update these models with better whatever. Or sometimes it's just cheaper to make and then that becomes the default version and any new console you buy is just that version.
So in other words,
you the general consumer wouldn't really know about it.
So in other words, they used Hades 2 to draw people like you and me in.
Yeah.
And then to fuck us over later. Those
Yeah.
goddamn bastards. I hate Nintendo.
Listen, it worked.
That's why I hate them.
All of them do it.
No, they do it. Nintendo, they're scummier. I'm
Even
saying they're scummier.
Your precious PC manufacturers do it too.
That's more about PC manufacturers. You mean part manufacturers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're doing now.
GeForce does it all the time.
Hey, but Jeff Bezos said we can have a PC cloud gaming as like the future. So we don't let you own anything because we're Jeff Bezos. I agree with Jeff Bezos. Say, shake his hand when you see him. Say, I agree with you. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, for pushing things forward. Can you do that for me?
If I ever meet Jeff Bezos, yeah, sure, Connor, I'll do that for you.
Thank you. I would kill you afterwards. But
You would kill me?
yeah, of course.
Why?
You're talking billionaires are bad,
Connor.
eat the rich, and then
Connor, you think I'm ending that situation with just shaking his hand? May I remind you of my favorite Mario brother?
who's that, Tavin? Say the name.
Well, it's not Mario.
By the way, that guy didn't do it.
No, yeah.
Didn't do it.
Yeah. Real tough.
Well, no, it's good for him. He becomes an icon
Okay,
and then
well,
gets
he's
off.
and he's going to sue the fuck out of the government.
He should. There's no way he loses. Like that'd be a miscarriage of justice. And that's coming from a guy who thinks he did it.
He may beat the case, but he's not going to live much longer past that.
We'll see.
And we're an hour deep into the podcast, so now we can talk about these things.
Oh, so
Also, bro, you just left. Like,
no, it's 2020.
When did he leave?
Like 2023.
Brother,
3
I
years?
knew in 2017 what Bethesda's next decade was going to be.
There might have been some things he knows more than you do. You're just a loser on the internet.
Connor,
what do
they
you know?
told us in 2017 what the next decade was going to be.
Yeah, but he's talking. It started falling apart before that, like in 2000, like after 2011 Skyrim. That's what his inner
Probably
knowledge.
after 2015's Fallout 4 is probably where he was actually like, I don't like this anymore.
Probably
Probably where it was. After that.
or maybe before then, because they were clearly deciding what to do.
Because I think that was where
beyond.
the pivot. Because that's where the pivot where the 76 came into play, and then, 76 making the money. You can't say it was a bad choice.
You're right, but
People like 76
we're
now.
talking about the money part. Though.
People like it.
They do.
People,
yeah.
people.
They
it's
turned
some,
around.
It's some people's favorite Fallout.
They turned around on it. Good for them.
I like the headlines of every time Xbox does something wrong, everybody just nukes Phil Spencer's house.
It's very deserving. And Todd Howard to a degree, not as much.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Todd Howard has that likability regardless of any of those things. So you kind of
I don't get it. I don't know why we like Todd Howard that much.
He made Skyrim.
I guess, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, cool.
There's your answer.
And yeah, he's got a charisma,
He does.
I'm over the fucking leather jacket.
He was on the chess club.
He was in the chess club?
I think he was, yeah.
Good for him, fucking nerd.
Yeah.
I was in a chess club once upon a time. You want a fucking medal? Like,
you're a fucking nerd too. Why are you calling him a nerd?
yeah. I was not good in that chess. I was too young. I didn't know the game of chess like everybody
I remember when we first became friends, we played chess. You always won. And the last time we played, I've been winning.
When was the last time that you and I played chess?
Like back at the old apartment. Because I brought
we played chess?
Yeah, once.
When? Are you sure this was me?
Because I had my new chessboard and I was like, here, let's play it.
Was it a small board? Was it
Not
regular
really.
pieces?
It's like a artisanal board.
Was it regular pieces?
No. It's like Greek figures.
Oh, okay. Maybe that rings a bell.
Not a chess lover. Didn't like Queen's Gambit. That's that.
Oh, the show? You didn't like that show?
Is that a show or is it a movie?
Queen's Gambit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a show.
Oh. No, I never saw it. It looked good.
It's good.
Yeah. With Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I ever saw her in.
Oh, really?
That I'm aware of.
Mm.
Yeah.
She probably was in one of those, like, 2013 movies.
Probably.
2012.
Yeah, she was probably on the grind doing her thing. That was the first one that I ever saw her, and I was like, oh, this is a good actor.
Yeah.
I like this actor. You know? And then she's gone on to do a bunch of other stuff that I'm like, yeah, she's good.
Definitively.
Not so great in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, really?
Little,
Generic?
yeah. Kind of white bread. I'm like, all right, cool.
Rosalina is not going to be.
We'll find out.
We will.
I don't think you're in for like a, oh my God.
I never watched the first one, so I have no clue.
Oh, you should. It's fun.
Yeah, I probably will.
I mean, it's a kid's movie.
Of course.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like
A fun kids movie.
it's like around the same quality as Sonic 3.
Okay. Jim Carrey saved that movie. He's the only thing I think about when I think of Sonic 3.
And you criticized me for walking out of that movie going, eh.
But still, like, no, it's not a bad movie. It's just, like, forgettable.
No, it's not bad. No.
You know,
I thought Sonic 2 was better.
didn't have Jim Carrey in it.
It did have Jim
I
Carrey.
know. Fuck.
They all have Jim Carrey in it.
He's going to be in the fourth one, too.
Oh, I guess they don't all have Jim Carrey in it.
Mm.
Did they?
No.
The first one have Jim
They
Carrey?
did.
in it?
Yeah, oh, definitely. No, for a fact he was in there.
Yeah, he was in the first one. Yeah. Thank God for Jim Carrey, man.
Really?
Thank
Cool
God
guy.
for him.
Can't tell. I like it when he goes to this. I know you're about to end it, but do you ever see him go to that model? The what do you call it? Modeling? You call it modeling? Fashion show? It was a fashion show. That's what it was. He went to this fashion event, right? And he just popped up, and he was like, "Well, Jim Carrey's here," and an interviewer immediately became incredibly awkward around him because he talked to him expecting like, "Oh, you're here to like observe fashion." He's like, "No, I came here to see how like useless this stuff is and how unimportant it is." And he's like, "You know, like, because what's the point of this? It has no value." And he actually does. He sounds very weird.
What's the point in anything?
Yeah,
Like, what's the value in a movie, Jim Carrey?
kind of
like,
in a way, he kind of talks about that and the value of things. And legitimately, it was an interesting thing. It's just the fact that he was so forceful
Jim Carrey,
and
your whole career is based off the same level of vanity and like
no,
it's not your art medium.
Again, he kind of touches on that. Again, it's like a poignant moment that comes out of nowhere, and it's just because he rails against the fashion like industry and caring about it to the degree people do.
Okay, but he at least puts in like the I mean, but you could say the same thing about what I do, right?
No, I think he does. That's why if I'm remembering correctly, he talks about like his own achievements and being like just kind of like downplaying his own importance in that same moment.
Because all of it, like there's there's value in it, but like
he was in an existential mood and he wanted to.
if you're gonna
himself.
look at another artistic medium and be like, oh, this is just vain. I mean, so's yours, buddy. Like that's what art is vain.
Yeah, but fashion's especially stupid because people worry, like you, idiot that you are, about how people wear clothes that aren't fashionable.
Well, a lot of these fashion shows are not meant to deliver fashion that you're actually going to wear.
That's what's stupid about it.
It's
That makes it dumber.
It's meant to inspire clothing that you will then wear.
That's stupid. That sounds
How
dumb.
is that stupid?
Because it sounds dumb. It's like for people, it's for losers to strut on a stage to say that they're doing it for me. They don't give a shit about me. Look at me. They don't care about what.
No, they don't care about you. You don't care. Yeah, clearly. They have no reason to care about you.
But when you say, I want to other people to be
Connor,
able to
that's
decide
like-
what clothes
that's like-
they wear,
that's like
you're acting
saying-
like that's for somebody else.
That's like saying anime creators should care about my opinion.
They care about you enjoying it. Maybe your opinion, beyond your opinion of like, well, I don't think you did this and that so good, then maybe like, well, I don't give a shit about that. You enjoy it and praise it, or you don't.
It's the same thing you're doing with fashion right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it's like trying to be grander than just raw art, than just the clothes you wear.
It
you wear
is raw
clothes,
art.
It's an effectiveness. This is effective.
It's raw art.
It's art. Yeah, you're right. But it's
just
like,
as much
it's like-
raw art
it's
as
like
literally
focusing
anything
on-
else.
It's focusing on like the high art minded people that are
Yeah, it is.
losers. That are losers. You know, that are annoying to talk to and be around.
They can be annoying about it, sure.
Yeah. So just agree with me, Tav.
But I mean, everybody's annoying.
Yeah.
And I hate being like the okay, yeah, but you could say this about anything type guy.
But you're
like,
right. I mean, I get what you're saying.
But I mean, you're saying things that like literally, like you're discrediting something because of its existence. But like, I mean, I can do that with literally anything.
yeah, but there's rankings.
It's got more value than fucking Warhammer.
Well, Warhammer's a grander thing in terms of.
It's got more value.
Warhammer, if you're talking about the figure, the models, the figures, it enforces like community of enjoying games with people. In more cohesive communities like in Europe, it's popular. where people go out and eat outside and whatnot.
You could say the
whatever.
same thing about fashion, though.
What? Fashion's the clothes you wear. Everyone wears clothes, and then they could compliment each other about their
But
vainness.
that's not
what
always
the difference
true.
is.
It's not always true.
See, again, the fashion industry.
I think this is really showing how little you know about it.
The fashion industry, and as you said, it's not about actually making the clothes. Those are the people I care about.
I mean, it
Not
is,
the,
but
not
it
the,
isn't.
not the high-minded art people. Listen, stick to watching.
But you were speaking on like the runway shows where you're like, who the fuck would wear that? And the answer is nobody. Nobody would fucking wear that. But it could inspire a color scheme. It could inspire like a stitching choice. It could inspire like another thing that like 6 months later down the line, you would see someone walking on the street that was directly inspired from that.
Most people, though. The general populace, except for the people that care about that stuff?
This is how like much the line goes down, Connor. Is you'll see somebody's wearing, I don't know, a goddamn Egyptian pyramid as a headdress, right? And then that would come down the line, and then suddenly somebody's got a hoodie where the hood is colored in that way, you know?
I know this is reductive as a conversational point. I think you're kind of reaching. Like you're connecting two different spheres of fashion.
I'm not, I promise.
And
you
acting
I'm
like
not.
it's like one's has equal value to the other when one has clearly more.
This is something I know very little about. Like, I know very little about this. Like, but just in my experience through osmosis of people who do know a little bit more about this, no, that's how that works.
Maybe those people are up their own ass. Like
also, I watched Devil's Wears Prada this last Christmas, and it basically said that. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll take your word for that.
That's just Meryl Streep being a good actress, though. And Anne Hathaway being a good actress.
God, dude, Anne Hathaway's great in that movie.
I've never seen it. I heard it's good.
It's pretty good. It's not like Greatest of All Time. It's a good movie. Yeah. It's a classic, like, 2000s, like, good movie.
Frankly, that's all you need to be.
Yeah. They're making another one.
They are.
It's another one of them, like, legacy sequel type things.
It's 20 years later, and now Anne Hathaway's in the big leagues.
Yeah, but that's weird. I mean, I could spoil this. You're not going to watch Devil Wears Prada, right?
I probably will if it comes in, like, a situational moment, but not actively.
I mean, like, Anne Hathaway doesn't in that movie being a part of the fashion industry.
Oh, because it's
not her. It's not her character.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. She got wrapped up into it because she scored a random job, and then makes a choice to leave.
Yeah.
But in the teaser trailer, you're right. Anne Hathaway is the big dog
because she gets impressed. She impresses Meryl Streep's character, and
a whole lot.
Like, yeah.
It's a classic formulaic movie, you know, but it's a good movie.
I still thought it would end with her being like cementing herself in a certain role within the fashion industry that's apart from the vainness that it seemed to be exemplified by Meryl Streep's character.
Now we got to watch the sequel and see how does she get back how does she get back wrapped up into it, you know?
It's like that scene from Skyfall where James Bond he like abandons being an agent and he's in a bar in I think Mexico and he's like drinking with the scorpion on his
hand. Yeah. They really did that.
Yeah, and then they come back and they're like, we need you back. It's Hathaway's version, however that is.
Well, he sees something on the because they believe he's dead.
He goes back. You're right.
Yeah, and he goes back. He's like, all right, vacation's over.
Yeah.
I don't know if that vacation was necessarily motivated.
Yeah.
You know, outside of homie got shot. You know.
Yeah.
But
almost died. Well, I guess that's redundant.
Well, not necessarily. You can get shot and not almost die. It happens all the time.
But I think once you get shot, you're immediately in the space of like, you could die now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You're on the down. You're only on the downward spiral at that point. It depends on how fast it is.
I'll tell you what. I watched Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
Somebody gets shot in that movie.
Really?
Yeah. Well, a couple people get shot, but
Jesus Christ! What happened to that fucking
movie? It's a crazy movie. But someone like one of the characters of the movie like gets shot, and I went, "Huh." This is a level of violence I wasn't expecting to happen here. Is to that character. I was like, "Huh." Interesting.
You know, I guess that kind of makes sense because what's the director's name? One of the Safdie brothers. Did you hear about his plan for that billionaire's character, the actual billionaire? What's his name again? The bald guy,
the Shark Tank guy.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but his plan was when he was pitching it was to have him be a vampire, like an actual vampire, and he said he presented it like serious, like he was serious about it, but the people he was pitching it to thought of it as a joke and he was being funny, and so he was like, I'll just abandon that idea. But he was going to make him a vampire. That was going to be like at the end, does that make sense from the context of the movie? That probably seems like it would.
It wasn't as abandoned as you think it is.
Oh, God. Oh, fuck. He's not an actual vampire, but he's...
It's a moment where I sat there and I went, Is he being serious right now? I chalked it up to he's fucking him. He's like fucking around with him.
Yeah.
Is what I talked to. But who knows? Maybe he wasn't. You know, actor sold it.
Yeah, he's not even an actor. Wait,
not an important part of the movie though.
Oh, okay.
Not an important part of the movie.
All right. Good talk, Tavin.
That's a podcast.
It was good.
You know? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been, of course, your Two Penny Gamescast. Each week, me and Connor come to you with the nerdy news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. You can catch this show live, not this week, over at twitch.tv/2pennygames every Monday afternoon. Or, don't worry, catch us the next day, Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/@2pennygames, and mainstream podcast services of your choice. Of course, we want your own 2 cents to be involved in this podcast, so make sure you drop a comment down below and give us your thoughts on all of today's topics, or maybe a topic we missed, or how Connor's wrong and Empire Strikes Back of the Elder Scrolls would not work, and that does not sound like a fun time.
Yeah, whatever. Get on with it. I got Fellowship with the Ring to go see. Come on. Oh, now don't do this.
What time is it?
No!
No, seriously, what time is your movie?
I'm not gonna tell you now. You're gonna.
No, what time is your movie? I just want to know what time your movie is.
You're gonna hurt me. No, I'm not telling you.
Okay, I'm gonna hurt. What time is your movie?
You're gonna tell. You're gonna do something. You're
Connor,
gonna do
what
something.
time is your movie?
7:45.
Is it at the AMC just right there?
No.
Oh, where is it?
An AMC 20 minutes away. Get up to the fair!
Okay. Until next time, have a great time. Bye.